We continue the N.J. Dawood translation of Al Quran with "She who is tested." In the name of Allah, the compassionate, the merciful, believers do not make friends with those who are enemies of mine and yours. Would you show them kindness when they have denied the truth that has been revealed to you and driven out the apostle and yourselves because you believe in Allah, your Lord? If it was indeed to fight for my cause and out of a desire to please me that you left your city, how can you be a friendly to them in secret? I well know all that you hide and all that you reveal. Whoever of you does this will stray from the right path. If they gain ascendancy over you, they will plainly show themselves your enemies and stretch out their hands and tongues to you with evil. They long to see you unbelievers. On the day of resurrection, neither your kinsfolk nor your children shall avail you. Allah will separate you. He is cognizant of all your actions. You have a good example in Abraham and those who followed him. They said to their people, we disown you and the idols which you worship besides Allah. We renounce you. Enmity and hate shall reign between us until you believe in Allah only. But do not emulate the words of Abraham to his father. I shall implore forgiveness for you, although I can in no way protect you from Allah. Some things it wasn't a commandment until it was a commandment, right? Lord, in you we have put our trust. To you we turn, and to you we shall come at last. Lord, do not expose us to the designs of the unbelievers. Forgive us, Lord. You are the mighty, the wise one. Truly, in those there is a good example for everyone who puts his hopes in Allah and in the last day. He that gives no heed shall know that Allah alone is self-sufficient and worthy of praise. It may well be that Allah will put goodwill between you and those with whom you have hitherto been at odds. Allah is mighty, Allah is forgiving and merciful. Allah does not forbid you to be kind and equitable to those who have neither made war on your religion nor driven you from your homes. Allah loves the equitable, but He forbids you to make friends with those who have fought against you on account of your religion and driven you from your homes, or abetted others to drive you out. Those that make friends with them are wrongdoers. Believers, when believing women seek refuge with you, test them. Allah best knows their faith. If you find them true believers, do not return them to the infidels. They are not lawful to the infidels, nor are the infidels lawful to them. Now, infidel doesn't translate anything in the Quran. We're talking about somebody misbelieving. They could be very faithful to their own faith, or and their own family and all that. So it's not the right word. Islam doesn't call people pagans or heathens either. But hand back to the unbelievers. Now, unbelievers also kind of covering something and believing something else. That's different than unbeliever in something specific, but that's I guess that's close enough that I don't need to correct it every time. But the dowries they gave them, nor is it an offense for you to marry such women, provided you give them their dowries. Do not hold on to your marriages with the unbelieving women. Demand the dowries you have given them, and let the misbelievers do the same. Such is the law which Allah lays down among you. Allah is all-knowing and all-wise. If any of your wives go over to the unbelievers and you subsequently gain victory over them, pay those whose wives have fled the equivalent of dowries they have given them. Fear Allah in whom you believe. Prophet, if believing women come to you and pledge themselves to serve no other as deity besides Allah, to commit neither theft nor adultery nor child murder, to utter no monstrous falsehoods of their own invention, and to disobey you in nothing reasonable except their allegiance, and implore Allah to forgive them. Allah is forgiving and merciful. Believers do not make friends with those who have incurred the wrath of Allah. Such men despair of the life to come, just as the unbelievers despair of the buried dead. Now, people can look at this as an example of the type of things that you should expect or ask for when you're looking for a spouse yourself. that they shouldn't murder, yeah, and they shouldn't. And honestly, when it comes to the reproductive things, that should be a mutual decision between spouses, because obviously the process is a mutual decision. So the results are going to be towards a mutual decision. And I'm going to leave it here, but I'm not going to say that Islam forbids or allows abortion. Definitely no extramarital sex acts or even that which would lead to it. And there's a lot. Islam does better than other faiths in preventing things. And I honestly have never heard of, I've never talked to a Christian who didn't violate other Christian principles on their way to having their affair, whether they were married at the time or they weren't married at the time. But that's another issue entirely. But what's lawful and fair? See, you're not expected to be obeyed if it's not lawful and fair. So it's not some house of obedience or whatever people who don't really know try to make it out to be.